Hey Nancy Drew fans, we're back for book 21, The Secret in the Old Attic. Originally published in 1944, this time I have the revised 1970 edition. We start on page 1 with Carson Drew puzzling over some old love letters. His client, the elderly Mr. March, has left them with Mr. Drew because he's convinced they hold the key to some stolen music that his son Philip had composed. Mr. Drew says that love letters should be private, and he's nervous about reading them, but Nancy's intrigued. "Please tell me more about the case," she begged. "Maybe I can help you with it." "I believe you can," her father replied, his eyes twinkling. "I'd say this is more your kind of mystery than mine, Nancy." Here's an illustration of their father-daughter moment. It turns out this is exactly Nancy's kind of case. The old Mr. March is really charming, and he wants to find the royalty money so that he can take care of his dead son's daughter, Susan. Soon Nancy's also pulled into another one of her father's cases. This one is a fabric maker who says that his rival, Mr. Dite, has stolen the secret process he uses to make gossamer fabric. Nancy knows Diane Dite, his daughter, but she says that they weren't friends because Diane is too willful and spoiled. Nancy really does some fantastic detective work in this story, and there are several scenes that highlight her nerves of steel. Nancy talks her way into Mr. Dite's factory and finds a secret room where she's in the middle of trying to get some samples, and she's discovered by the very bad Bushy Trot. Here she is faking a feigning spell to get rid of him. She finds a secret room at Mr. March's estate that's been hidden by an old skeleton. She charges right through and still keeps a clear head even when it immediately goes pitch black, she hears footsteps, and creepy harp music. She manages to piece together some really vague clues in the love letters, and she finds an incredible number of secret compartments in Mr. March's house through a lot of patience and some sheer force of will. In a scene that's right out of my nightmares, she's bound and gagged in the secret room. It's pitch black, and the bad guy has just left a black widow spider by her feet. She's consumed not with fear, but with her desperate need for justice. "I must get out of here," Nancy told herself over and over again. "That terrible man must be arrested at once." I always love when Ned gets to play the hero, and this time he probably saves her life. Bess, George, and Effie crowded into the room after him, but Ned took complete charge of the situation. Springing forward, he jerked the gag from Nancy's mouth. Then he cut her bonds with his pocket knife and helped the girl to her feet. "Nancy, if anything had happened to you, who did this?" he demanded gruffly. Her arm shaking, she pointed to the floor. The Black Widow was less than 2 feet away. As Effie let out a scream, Ned crushed the spider with his foot. A few meals to mention. Hannah prepares broth with toast, broiled hamburger, and rice pudding for the injured Mr. March. And later at his estate, the whole gang has a casserole of vegetables and beef with cake and ice cream. Just one making fun of Bess moment. "Do you mind waiting while I write a note?" Nancy asked. "Not at all," Bess replied. "We'll go talk with Hannah." "And Bess will help herself to some cookies," George teased her cousin. For outfits, Nancy, Bess, and George all wear dark dresses with black kerchiefs over their hair to do some nighttime surveillance at the March estate, and as a reward for her work on the fabric case, Nancy gets a pale yellow evening gown in gossamer that she'll wear to the big dance at Emerson College with Ned. Next up, the clue in the crumbling wall.